All right. Okay. So let's just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. Just reflecting on your day. You can maybe have your feet flat on the floor, about a hip's width apart, knees about a hip's width apart, and just be sitting right on top of your sits bones and shoulders aligned with the hips. And imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light and stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. And just lengthen that spine. Put some space in between the vertebrae. And just imagine, there's a puppeteer above you hanging onto that little piece of string and just very gently lengthening. Then go to the crown of the head and release any tension there. And just feel the sensations on the crown of the head, the forehead, the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the mouth. Relax the jaw, back of the tongue, back of the head, back of the neck, and allow the shoulders and the shoulder blades to drop down. Relax the throat, the chest, the belly, and all of your limbs. And just take a nice deep breath. You can have your hands resting wherever is most comfortable. Be aware of sounds in your environment. Just allow them to be there. Try not to follow with the mind. And if they're very loud, so there's a bang or someone shouting outside your window or dog barks, just notice the way in which the mind moves out to meet the sound, to investigate, and then just very gently bring it back. And then notice the thoughts that are arising in the mind. Try not to follow them with the mind. Try not to judge. Take a step back and be a little bit objective, curious. And then bring to mind some people of your life, our loved ones, these people we have deep and profound relationships with who are so precious to us. Then strangers, I always think of the people on the freeway when I think of strangers. And then there's the ones we find a little irritating. So just remember they could all change place at any time. And they're all equal in their wish to be happy and the wish to be free from suffering and having this extraordinary capacity for Buddhahood. So we'll do this meditation this evening for all these people of our life and by extension, all sentient beings. So think there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. We create negativity with our mind, so equally we can change it by creating positivity instead. So we start with this power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma, and we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions, and so having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. We cannot bear the thought of the future suffering that we ourselves will experience. We know from our present suffering we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this. I regret from the depths of my heart, having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, and because I do not want the future suffering, I'm sick of suffering, and also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others, and then think again, I'm sick of this suffering, and then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. So we rely upon, we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor, who has methods that we can use to purify. So we're not wanting this higher power to come down and take everything away or to forgive us or whatever. We want to use the methods that Vajrasattva has to heal ourselves. So imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. He's made of radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And he has a beautiful radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. And he has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, and this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we've harmed, and those who have harmed us by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then remember those who have harmed you and have compassion for them because they're going to suffer as a result of the harm they've done to you. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings and think I must purify for their sake. So now we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the medicine doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. And it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire being, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboal sitokaya meboal sipokaya meboal anarakta meboal sawasiti mimpiyatsa sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboal sitokaya meboal sipokaya meboal Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyatsa sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Gita Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anorakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shiyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Gita Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anorakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shiyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dita Miboa Sitokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anorakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shiyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dita Miboa Sitokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anorakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shiyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dita Miboa Sitokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anorakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shiyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of our speech, and Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So just imagine that all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking badly about others behind their backs, all of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dita Miboa Sitokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anorakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shiyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dita Miboa Sitokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anorakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shiyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dita Miboa Sitokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anorakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shiyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dita Miboa Sitokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anorakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shiyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dita Miboa Sitokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anorakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shiyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dita Miboa Sitokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anorakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shiyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dita Miboa Sitokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anorakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So again, feel your speech now is completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech, including yourself. So next is the purification of the mind, and Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's just the same. Imagine Lama Yeshe used to say, I think this is a common, well-known analogy, is you walk into a pitch black room and you flick on the switch and the light comes, instantly dispelling the darkness. So just imagine the same here. The moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of the mind, all the attachment and neediness and anger and bitterness, grudges, depression, anxiety, resentment, jealousy, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita didameboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mempiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagawan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita didameboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagawan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagawan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagawan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagawan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe. Again, be delighted at all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified, and think that there's no space now in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And this time, imagine Vajrasattva sending light and nectar, filling you completely and eradicating even the subtlest imprints of negative energy. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagawan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagawan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Mebawa Sitokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dina Mebawa Sitokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Mebawa Sitokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Mebawa Sitokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Mebawa Sitokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe. So now feel you're completely purified. Not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to the power of resolve. And this is the fourth and final step in the purification process. And this is this determination to not harm with our body and speech and mind. And without making a decision or a determination, we're just going to keep following the same old habit patterns over and over again, and kind of digging into the groove and making it more and more kind of like solid and easy. It's almost like water finding its way in a river. However, if you don't use these neural pathways, they will atrophy. So if you kind of somehow manage to put an end to some of the habit energies that we have, after a while, it'll just stop happening. So this determination becomes like a beacon that guides our body, speech, and mind in new directions. So Rinpoche used to say everything exists on the tip of the wishes. So we might not be able to commit to never doing something again, but we might just try to think about, I might just work on this one particular habit I've got between now and tomorrow, and I might just do it in a 30-second period of time. So imagine Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wants to merge with your mind and melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown, and think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So a little bit about emptiness. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little moment. You can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy we've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So now make a strong wish for His Holiness the Dalai Lama to live long, and for the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche, and for all your precious teachers. Okay, everyone, lots of love. Take care. If you have a moment, recite a verse of the names of Manjushri. Just one verse. Doesn't take long. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Okay. Good night. Thank you for hosting, whoever was hosting, Michael, Lou, or William. Okay.
Thank
Lots
you.
of love you. Lots
Thank
of love.
you.
Good night,
Thank-
everyone.